Romans 3 verses 20 to 26 from the New International Version, NIV, of the Bible reads as follows. 20 Therefore no one will be declared righteous in God's sight by the works of the law, rather, through the law we become conscious of our sin. 21 But now apart from the law the righteousness of God has been made known, to which the law and the prophets testify. 22 This righteousness is given through faith in Jesus Christ to all who believe. There is no difference between Jew and Gentile. 23 For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. 24 And all are justified freely by His grace through the redemption that came by Christ Jesus. 25 God presented Christ as a sacrifice of atonement, through the shedding of His blood, to be received by faith. He did this to demonstrate His righteousness, because in His forbearance He had left the sins committed beforehand unpunished. 26 He did it to demonstrate His righteousness at the present time, so as to be just and the one who justifies those who have faith in Jesus. Expounding Romans 3 verses 20 to 26. These verses from Romans chapter 3 are central to understanding the Christian doctrine of salvation and justification. Law and Sin, v. 20 The Apostle Paul explains that the law, referring to the Mosaic law, serves to make people aware of their sin, but it cannot make them righteous before God. This underscores the idea that adherence to the law alone is insufficient for salvation. Righteousness through faith, v. 21 to 22 Righteousness, according to Paul, is attainable apart from the law. It is made available through faith in Jesus Christ to all who believe, regardless of their background, Jew or Gentile. This indicates a shift from the law-based righteousness to a faith-based one. Universal Sin and Grace, v. 23 to 24 Verse 23 is a well-known verse stating that all have sinned and fall short of God's glory. Despite this universal sinfulness, Verse 24 says that all are justified freely by God's grace through Jesus Christ. This grace is a gift, not something earned. Sacrifice of Atonement, v. 25 to 26 Christ's role as a sacrifice of atonement is highlighted. His death and the shedding of His blood were necessary for the forgiveness of sins. This was God's way of upholding His righteousness. By leaving sins committed beforehand unpunished, God was showing forbearance, but through Christ, He demonstrates that He is both just and the justifier of those who have faith in Jesus. In summary, these verses pivotally argue that righteousness and justification before God are achieved not through human efforts or adherence to the law, but through faith in Jesus Christ. This is a foundational principle of Christian belief, emphasizing grace, faith, and redemption as key aspects of the relationship between God and humanity.